Hello everybody and welcome back to where I play Dragon Slayer: The Legend of Heroes. Welcome to the final dungeon. I got a bit lucky there, but there are certain problems with fighting in the final dungeon. Like, I want to avoid encounters in this area, and let me show you why. Okay, so... oh. Huh. So yeah, enemies can do that to you. There are just gonna be quite a few enemies down here that can KO you in one shot. And that can be pretty costly considering that this is the only actually lengthy dungeon in the entire game. Because it's a Falcom final dungeon, it must be much bigger than any other that has previously been in the game. Let's see what's down here. So it's created the thing where the dungeon is pretty long, but we want to spend as little time actually in it as possible. That doesn't mean I didn't do my fair share of fighting down here. The original footage was 33 minutes long and, well, take a look at the timer. So we are in the Castle of Doom. Unfortunately, there are times where we have to fight. So really, you had better be prepared for the whole endurance thing when you're fighting around here. There are just going to be a bunch of places where you can't avoid fighting. Not that you should avoid it completely, you will need more levels. And you'll even want them because each level gives a full restore. Okay, we are now in part 2 of the final dungeon, the Beast Maze. It is a darkness area. By the way, I rejiggered my spell list some more. Now everyone has Revive. It seemed like a good plan. It is a darkness area, so I am glad I had brought the torches. There are also a bunch of enemies down here that are completely immune to any physical attacks you might throw out. I always lead with Shock because it's the attack spell that costs the least amount of MP. And it seems to do pretty well down here. All I can really do, though, is hope that I don't miss any important items heading down, but I have the Sword Blaze. Nothing can stop me now. I am having such a good time. I wonder if Nitro has any actual use as an item for me. Oh well. I remember reading that the level cap is something like 53, but I'm not sure how close we'll actually be getting to that when we're ready to finish the game. And time to dump the whistle because I couldn't figure out what it did. Yeah, theoretically you could run through here without torches because the Seeker Orb is a thing that exists. However, I prefer the extra little bit of clarity as to where I am going and what I am doing. Yeah, the monsters in this area don't really seem nearly as threatening as those in the first area. So I'll actually be pretty fine. Maybe I should have explored down there. Oh well, too late for that now. That's right, I'm restore-exploiting. Well, I guess it's not really an exploit. I guess the game expects you to do that. No. Aha, there we go. The game tried to pretend there wasn't an exit there. I sure showed him. It. Games don't have gender. Okay, so where next? We'll just plow through these. Nothing really maze-like about this area. It's pretty straightforward. I was kind of expecting a little bit more dickery. Okay, speaking of dickery, these guys are immune to hits. Well, physical attacks. They are weak to lightning, and that's pretty much the only thing that can save you. They may do pitiful damage with their actual attacks, but they have other nasty things up their sleeves. You know, like confusion. And instant death. Goodbye. Yeah, another thing is that the monsters around here don't give generally hugely much more experience than the monsters of the previous chapter. I guess they decided that grinding wasn't a thing that should be going on. Not that it's going to stop me from doing it anyway. Come on, cure it up. Okay, the labyrinth is more suited to its name than the maze was previously. There are a lot of ways to go, and truthfully, even I'm not entirely sure how I found any sort of path through it. If I replay the game, I may have to rewatch my own video to figure out how to get through it, because I don't remember. I think I better take this. No, I'm keeping the Starblade. Oh yeah, I should note that there are quite a few enemies down here that the steel rod is useless against. Granted, it's still useful, just not as universally. What were they thinking giving out the steel rod as starting equipment? They knew people were going to exploit it as far as possible. Oh well, this was Falcom's first turn-based RPG. No one expects it to be perfect. Even the really earliest Dragon Slayer games are actually considered to be proto-action RPGs. Oh, right, I could try to get around this guy. Yeah, Dragon Slayer 1 was considered something of a proto-action RPG, even though it wasn't nearly as actiony as the East series, which started later. And Dragon Slayer 2 was a bit more so, but still not as much as later titles by Falcom. Unfortunately, Falcom screwed the pooch with their meeting with Richard Garriott, so we never actually got Dragon Slayer 2, even though Origin was interested in bringing it over. Goodbye. No, thank you, sir. Yeah, that's the thing in quite a few of the 80s JRPGs. In a lot of final dungeons, they're just a lot of enemies that are not worth fighting for any reason at all. Aha, we hit it. Oh! Necromancers can deflect attacks, even the Sword Blaze. Well, that's okay. Okay, we are in the Abode, the 4th area of the final dungeon. Which makes me wonder exactly how many there are. Yeah, that Titus guy looked pretty dangerous. Whenever there are two lesser enemies flanked by a special guy in the middle, I know there's going to be some kind of trouble. Phantasy Star 4 taught me that much. So hint, take out the middle guy. Man, these guys feel like they would do something special. Ah, well. I got a level, so no problems there. Aha, there we go. You hide. And when they're hiding, you can do absolutely nothing to them. Time to explore a little bit more. It may be redundant to use the Seeker Orb so much, but I don't want to miss anything in the final dungeon. Maybe there's some kind of special equipment or other useful items or things like that. And sometimes there's absolutely nothing. In final dungeons like these, normally I would expect more bosses, but this hasn't really been a boss-heavy game. There have been at most 2 per chapter. Okay. And what do we got here? Gonna throw out my remaining torches. I think I've got this. Yeah, there's not much more to really say down here. I don't need that potion, that's a bit too weak. I'm gonna throw out another potion. That looks important. That also looks important. Because who needs keys when you have a laser sword? Better do some more exploration, though. That looks like progression. Oh, you're big. Finally, a boss fight! Okay, cure up. Save up. Yeah, right around here. And let's do this thing. Naja? Oh, hey, this is normal boss music. Okay, so magic is useless. Well, ice magic is useless against the fire dragon. Okay, so we can't really, why am I trying to use spells? We can't really outpace its drains, so there's, the only thing we can do is do physical attacks, but those aren't actually doing all that oh my! This is the first enemy we've encountered that can attack our entire party! And there's not a whole lot we can do to stop it! There are no all-heal spells in this game. Well, we just need to hope for the best. This is not great. I probably should have healed more. You tell me, game! Oh. So the real Naja is here to taunt us. I need to think about this sort of thing. Because Naja is probably gonna be even stronger. And, guys, this is a problem.